Hi, I'm Mike, and today I want to share my thoughts on the GMC Terrain. Recently, I was in Jackson Hole, and this is what I ended up with as my rental car. The GMC Terrain wasn't part of my plan. I was supposed to get a Jeep Wrangler or something similar, like there is anything similar. But despite me booking and prepaying it more than a month in advance, Avis didn't have it available. Instead, they give me a pretty miserable selection, and that's how I ended up with the Terrain. I forgot to check the model year, but I assume it was a 2022 or 2023 SLT trim, which is a mid-level option. It also was equipped with 4-wheel drive, and car had about 60,000 miles on it. So, how was it? Well, there were some pros and cons. Let's start with the worst part, the engine. It has a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine, and it's pathetic. At one point, I pressed the gas pedal, and the acceleration was so slow, I thought something was broken. In GM's more expensive SUVs like Buick Enclave and Cadillac XT4, they use a 2-liter engine, and I completely understand why. Of course, I'm used to slightly faster cars, so I may be too judgy, but in my opinion, the Terrain desperately needs that extra half-liter of power that Buick and Cadillac have. Another thing that puzzled me: you have to manually engage all-wheel drive. And it's not even real 4-wheel drive, it's just an automatic AWD system, like the ones installed in most SUVs today. I have no idea why it isn't turned on by default. I understand why my F-150 works that way, since it has true 4-wheel drive, but for an AWD system, this setup makes no sense. Either GM is way behind other manufacturers, or there is some logic to it that I just don't get. Well, if you have any ideas, please write in the comments. But there were things I actually liked about the GMC Terrain. Despite the cheap Chinese all-season tires, driving it on snowy roads in Grand Teton National Park was surprisingly enjoyable. I didn't do anything crazy, but I tested brakes and stability control, and they worked really well. It's not groundbreaking, but at least GM didn't screw this part up. Now for the downsides again. This GMC Terrain felt outdated, especially when it comes to advanced driver assistance systems. No adaptive cruise control, no lane keeping assist, just a warning when you drift out of your lane. Infotainment system was mediocre. The screen was small by today's standards, but at least Apple CarPlay worked fine, so I would say it's okay. If you like physical buttons, this car is for you. I'm not the biggest fan of doing everything on touchscreen either, but when it comes to the gearbox buttons, I have no idea why GM is so obsessed with them. I don't think it's anyhow useful. I think it's worse than probably any other options on the market. It was terrible on the Tahoe I drove once, and I still don't like it here. The interior feels from decades ago, but it's not all bad. The grey plastic is ugly, but the seats were comfortable and there was enough space for me, and I am 6'4". The rear seats weren't as spacious, but were still acceptable. But here is something interesting. Despite 60,000 miles, the interior still looked almost flawless. That says a lot about the quality of materials used. Also, I didn't hear any squeaks or rattles, even in cold weather, and that was a very nice surprise. So speaking of interior, I would say it's very well built car. The trunk is spacious, but the trunk release button is hidden right above the bumper. On a warmer day, no problem, but in the snow, I had to stick my hand into it just to open the trunk. So, would I buy a GMC Terrain? A brand new one? No. I'd rather go for a cheaper version, the Chevy Equinox, or a more expensive one, a Buick. Because what the Terrain really lacks is a good engine, and Buick has it. But to be completely honest, if I were looking for a compact SUV, I'd probably buy a Subaru instead. However, when it comes to used cars, if I found one in good condition at a reasonable price, I'd definitely take a closer look. That's it for today. If you had your own experience with GMC Terrain, please write it in the comments section below. And thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.